Hi friends, my name is Julie.
I'm Daryl.
And welcome back to our farm. We have an opportunity to get some new laying hens, which we really need. We've been out of eggs for months now. Plus, as you may have seen in the last video, we've got a whole bunch of chicks in our brooder and they need a new coop to go into.
So with having all these birds ready to go on pasture, this presented a problem for us. We don't have a coop ready to house them. So during this video, we're gonna show you how we're gonna modify this old coop and get it ready to house all the birds. Like many of you that do pastured raised chickens, you've probably gone through many different versions of mobile coops. We've had coops built out of scrap that we found here on the farm. We have built coops on small utility trailers, and those worked okay. They were a little heavy, bulky, and then we started trying to make them lighter. And that's really what you want with a coop that's out on pasture that you're having to move every day. But you can't make it too light to where it doesn't provide any protection. So our first version of our PVC coops here was just a 1.5 inch PVC bottom frame and 3/4 inch pipe for roof supports. And then we put welded wire all around the coop. Now that design was good. We had some of those last for 3 or 4 years, but eventually the PVC, the 3/4 inch, just gave out. Our next version is this version that you see here. We built a little 2-foot wall out of 1.5 inch PVC. This helped keep the chickens in. That way when you open the door in the front, they didn't run out. But we still went ahead and used the 3/4 inch PVC for the roof supports. But we didn't put welded wire over everything, and the roof supports failed a lot sooner. This was due to wind damage primarily, and also the tarp had sags in it that would hold water, and that extra weight would also collapse these 3/4 inch PVC pipes. So what we're trying to do today with this coop is keep the frame, and we're going to take all the 3/4 inch PVC pipe off. What we're going to replace that with is 3/4 inch conduit. Now, I don't have a pipe bender today. I know that these bends have a little crimp here. I'm not super worried about it being too much of a weak point. If I had a 3/4 inch conduit bender, these would be nice and smooth and that would be a lot stronger. But I think this will do for today since we have to have this ready by tomorrow. After bending the pipe, I drilled a 3/4 inch hole into my frame here that the pipe will slide down into. Now we bent this at such a height that the whole pipe sits at the bottom. This will help with stability and strength. So it looks like we're gonna have to cut these so that they meet up, and I'm also using a 90-degree conduit coupler, and that's how we're gonna fasten them together.
All right, one truss done.
So it looks like I should have cut off 3 inches off of each side instead of 2. I tried to force this coupler on it and it was tweaked a little bit. So when I tried to force it straight, it actually broke. This is also a point of concern for me. If it broke just with that little bit of force, I may have to find some stronger couplers to replace these with. But we're gonna push forward with what we have right now because we really gotta get the coop going.
On the old coop, we covered the whole roof with this shade cloth material, but over time it just disintegrated and it is completely falling apart. So I'm just gonna cut off the rest of it.
So to take off all this old 3/4 inch PVC, the trusty old Sawzall. So as the mesh and shade cloth fell apart, we were patching the front wall here with baling wire, plastic mesh, zip ties, whatever we could do to keep the chickens in this thing.
Yeah, now you can actually see what we're working with.
I'm pretty good at that. So our first attempt to bend the 3/4 inch conduit, I used just a round block of metal and tried to bend it around it. And I still got the crimp. In doing that, these are also a little bit longer than what I just bent earlier. So we're gonna put these in the center to give kind of that peak effect so that it'll shed water better. So I don't think this is perfectly straight or centered, but it's gonna work. And I have to remember, it is just for chickens. It doesn't have to be perfect or pretty.
This coop has this built-in feeder, which I was thinking of taking off, but since it's not in the way, I think I'm just gonna leave it.
The next step is we're gonna try to put in a center beam. I'm just not sure how we're gonna do that yet. I think it should be underneath.
Yeah, I think so too.
So for the center bar, we have cut our final 2 pieces of 3/4 inch conduit, and we're gonna use zip ties to attach them to prevent sway of the roof supports. This is only temporary. They do make some couplers that'll fit on this and attach to our 90-degree couplers, and we'll get those in a couple days when I get to the hardware store. But for now, we're gonna just attach them with zip ties, and this should work fine. Now that we have the frame put back together, we're gonna cover it with some old chicken wire that we had left here on the farm. Well, we've gone as far as we can today. We ran out of material and we're running out of light. We got the roof supports up, and we also got 2 pieces of chicken wire, one on the front and one on the back. We're gonna fill in this center section with another piece that I have to pick up tomorrow. We also have the end walls here that we have to close off. We'll do that with additional wire tomorrow.
Well, it's the next morning and we're getting back to work on this coop. Daryl had to run out early and get another roll of poultry wire. So we need to finish wrapping it, we need to get a tarp on it, and we need to get our nest box mounted. And that's about it, and the coop will be ready. And we're scheduled to go pick up our chickens in just a couple hours, so we're gonna get to it. Now, if you're building a coop, chicken wire is not the best option. Something like hardware cloth or a welded cage wire is gonna be a lot more predator proof. And that's one of the reasons that we did outfit the bottom with cage wire. In my experience, most four-legged predators are gonna attack from the bottom, and most aerial predators are, of course, gonna attack from the top. And the chicken wire I've found is enough to deter an aerial predator. And it would be very rare for a four-legged predator to climb up and get in through this chicken wire. Although, if a really determined one could definitely rip it apart and get in there. So it's a bit of a risk, but we went with this mainly because I had a lot of free material that was just left here on this property when we bought it. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, so we had to go out and buy another roll, but this is still a lot more available and cheaper than either the cage wire or the hardware cloth. And we're finding it very easy to attach because you can just wind the wires together. It's also very lightweight, as the other options are gonna add a lot of weight to your coop. We had to take a break on building the coop to actually go pick up the chickens. They're gonna chill in these crates for maybe another half hour while we get that done. I've just gotta wrap the door in chicken wire, we've gotta throw the tarp on it, and we've gotta put a nest box in it, and then it's ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with our simple door frame here. I'm just gonna cover it in chicken wire, and then we're just gonna use zip ties to attach it like hinges. Stop. Sai, why are you always in the way? Hi, Judy.
So with this coop design, to keep the door closed, we just have a screwed in at an angle, and the door just hooks right onto it.
We also have a bungee cord to hook it at the bottom.
That'll work.
Yep.
That might need to be replaced.
Yeah, they wear out, but that's it. Simple design. It works.
The tab's just folded and pinned it to the back.
Nice.
So we have one of these roll-away nest boxes that we're going to attach to the PVC supports here with some wire.
If you guys haven't seen these nest boxes, they're awesome. So the chickens lay their eggs back here on this mat, and then the eggs gently roll away from the chicken. And then you lift this up, and the eggs roll onto this grating. That way the chickens can't poop on them, lay on them, crack them. It's great. You get almost 100% clean eggs out of here. We've also built roofs into this coop all the way around. It's really important for laying hens to have some roof space to get off the ground to sleep. And we've found these 2x2s work really well, and they fit really nicely in this 1.5 inch coupler that we're using to hold the PVC frame together.
Well, we got the tarp on. We like to leave half of our coops in shade and half in the sun so that the chickens can get out there and get all their UV rays.
Maple. No scaring the chickens. Maple. Here you go, girls. So our new chickens are American breasts. We got 30 hens and 5 roosters. And I really want to thank Brian and Catherine from Fat Chicken Farm. We're really grateful that they offered these chickens to us because we are so happy to have these guys to add to our flock. This is gonna mean we're gonna get eggs back in stock sooner, and we're gonna have a wider gene pool to start our own breeding program with these guys. So we'll have a more sustainable flock going into the future. Well, that wraps it up for today. In the next video, you will see us add 65 more hens to this flock, and hopefully they integrate well. That's gonna be a little tricky, so stay tuned for that.
And if you wanna see how we raise those chicks, you can check out this video right here. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.